Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be setting up a Spacewalk server. So a little bit about Spacewalk is that it's a free open source Linux management system. Basically, using Spacewalk we can deploy, manage, and update packages to Red Hat derived distros. It even comes with a cool web interface that helps us to view the status of software updates in the client and initiate update actions. Some cool features that come with it are things like being able to inventory hardware and software information, install and update software on other computers, collect and distribute custom software packages, kickstart user systems, and a lot more other cool neat features that it comes with. You can check out their site if you're interested. I have a link in the description. So before we get into the actual installation, we'll need to configure some additional settings for good practice. Here I've decided to use the following. The operating system will be CentOS 7, the DVD installation. The host name will be wosun_spacewalk.local domain, and the IP address will have the value 10.0.0.15 with a subnet of 8. Doing all of this isn't necessary, but it reduces the amount of time it takes to troubleshoot a system should it fail. So let's start by going into the Network Manager text user interface, and next we're going to change and edit the connection of our actual interface. In this case, mine is called ENS33. So let's change the address as I mentioned to the one before, and we'll add in the subnet as well. Next, we'll set the gateway. In my case, it's 10.0.0.2. Currently, this virtual machine's gateway is that. You could always change this in the virtual network manager, and for our DNS, we'll use Google's DNS servers. Now we're going to activate our interface. And the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to change the host name to wosun_spacewalk at local domain. And we're done. So now let's just see if it's correct and test it. And we can see here that the IP is the same, so it is working. Next up is to set up our repositories on our system. I've added the code in the description in case you get lost. So we'll do the first one. We'll just add it right here. And for the second one, we'll need to change directory into the etc yum.repos. So once that we're there, we're just gonna enter in our code, and perfect. As the final step, we're gonna use the EPEL repo on CentOS. Essentially, this is just enterprise packages for the distro that we're using. The last thing we'll need to do is to configure our hosts file so that when we go on Firefox, we can get to our website by typing in our address. So we're just going to change it and point it to our server. Now we'll configure the firewall. Again, I've added the code in the description. Essentially, we're going to have it so that the app is allowed to use web traffic on HTTP and HTTPS. Don't forget to reload. Okay, the next thing to do is to set up the database. So Spacewalk has an embedded setup for PostgresQL, which will do the automatic SQL Spacewalk installation without us having to enter the database information. The embedded database method is a lot easier to set up and runs the Spacewalk with all the defaults. So let's just enter yum install spacewalk-setup-postgresql. Alright, I'm just going to fast forward here so that it's a lot quicker and less boring. And for the next part, we'll make sure to install the database. So since we're using the default one, we can just run yum install spacewalk-postgresql. Now the trick, this also takes quite a bit of time, so make sure to, I guess, have something better to do while you wait. And once that's done, we'll just start to initialize. This is the most important part of the actual entire project. So if you don't want to go digging and deleting another database, or maybe you just don't know how to, make sure to do this part because it makes your life a lot easier. So it's postgresql-setup initdb. Now the actual setup of our server is we're gonna type in spacewalk-setup, and essentially it's just gonna ask us for some information like our name, our email, our city. So just answer those and press yes to all the defaults, and once it's done it should say success. Finally, we'll go to our interface, so open up Firefox and go to 10.0.0.15, and we're going to set up our user here. And that pretty much summarizes everything for today. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next time, where hopefully we can configure the spacewalk to distribute the updates for CentOS clients. Bye!